Yo, what is up, everybody? TravTCG here with finally the full set for Explorer Anthology 2. I said I wouldn't make another video till the full set arrives. We've now got a week till it releases on December 13th. There's a bundle, which will only be available till March 7th, they've said. 4,000 gems, 25,000 gold. We know Oasis already. Let's get into the rest of the cards. Eldrazi Displacer we saw earlier this week. It doesn't really have an active home in Pioneer, but maybe in a smaller card pool it can break through. It's great at blinking abilities. It costs less than 3 mana, so you can bring it off Collected Company. Obviously, just had a bunch of paylands, so we have a bunch of colorless sources to use it. Maybe it fits into some of these kind of like white-based Yorion shells. Kind of interesting. Eerie Interlude, a bit of a miss, I think. Let me know in the comments if you have any cool ideas for this card, but it doesn't really slot into anything at the moment. I don't see tons of potential for it personally. Now, Brave the Elements, Soldiers of the Pantheon kind of go together here in my book. Great cards for mono white aggro. Soldiers of the Pantheon's actually fallen out of favor a little bit. Obviously, we got the new 2-1 in Brothers War. That is a huge boon, I think, Recruitment Officer. But Brave the Elements is a huge add. A lot of potential versus green decks, which have only gotten stronger, let's be honest. And it's one of the things that was missing from the white deck in Explorer. Ethereal Armor, I've talked about it a little bit before, but fits right in to Celestia Auras. You can find it off of Light Pause or any of your 1-mana spells. It's just a huge boon, gives you a ton of power and toughness, and lets you get massive damage very, very early. So you +1 for each jam you can draw, and first strike. That's all the white cards. Let's move on to blue, and this is kind of where I'm a little disappointed. I talked about it before. I want them to put in Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time. Maybe something like Hidden Strings to make the Lotus Field deck playable. There's a version of it that gets played at the minute, but it's kind of missing the speed that it has in Pioneer. Clever Imperatice is a nice card. Maybe it goes into, maybe we see some kind of weird Garuda shells trying to, you know, mill your deck, clone it, keep cloning itself. And Dispel's a kind of nice pickup for the format in general. Like, hey, yeah, it's a great nice to have. Into black, we only have one black card. Still put Cutthroat, but it is much loved or much hated, depending on which side you come down on. I personally have been looking for it to play in green-black Citadel. But it fits into a few different types of sacrifice strategies. It doesn't really get played in the black red sacrifice deck in Pioneer, but traditionally in the kind of like green-based decks, we're kind of playing off Collected Company a bit. It has been more popular. There's a bunch of red cards, foremost of which is Eidolon of the Great Revel. Obviously, amazing burn staple. Enough already said there. Red deck's going to get a lot better. Fire Impulse is a really nice pickup for red-blue. You don't have Cruise, but at least you have an efficient 1-mana removal spell, I guess. Rending Volley, yeah, sure. It's fine. It's a good sideboard card. Again, kind of enough said here. Some nice pickups for red, but nothing major, I feel like. Into green. So, we need Corsair Crucifix already. Again, very, very sweet card. Doesn't really have a home to like slot straight into in the format. We'll see what happens here. Maybe there's like a good black-green or Sultai mid-range deck. Wayfinder, however, does have a bunch of homes that fits into straight away. Foremost of which probably is Abzan Greasefang, one of the big bads of the Explorer format, I suppose, but also trots into things like Dredge, which I actually have a video coming out for tomorrow. But yeah, City Wayfinder, a nice win there, and a really nice card to have in the format. Worldbreaker, ooh. We could talk a bit more about the green decks, because, as I said, the green deck's got a bit of a boost here. Worldbreaker, not the card I'm talking about, but is a nice to have. Is a really, really sweet card. Synergizes as well. Obviously, there's an Eldrazi theme in the set. Is an interesting one for cards like not just Green Ramp, but maybe something like Marvel. I was interested if we were going to get something like Sanctum of Ugin, another card that synergizes as well with it, but not today. Nania's Presence is a pretty sweet one. Obviously, gives a land every basic land type, which enables all the domain things. It's a bit too slow for domain type Zoo, but for something like Enigmatic Incarnation is exactly what you want and is what you're missing. So that's pretty powerful. There's still no Chain to the Rocks. Fair enough. Is still a nice addition to have in the format. Multicolor cards, and we'll get to in a second. Reflector Mage first. Fits into things like Bat Humans, which I imagine to get a bit of a boost. Maybe something like Blue-White Flash / Tempo. And then also, it does get played in some kind of more combo-esque decks. It does get played in the Vannifar combo deck, which I've made a video with. I'll probably do another one once we got Minor Confluence. Oh, spoilers. Later. Slither Hive Lord. Alright, cool. Great. Not a card for Explorer, I don't think. I don't think there's enough tools yet in Explorer, but for something like, hey, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we're prepping for something. Maybe it's a bit of a plant, you know? 24 card set. I guess slightly disappointed with Hive Lords. Also with Eerie Interlude, honestly. But hey, this is me wanting them to print Pioneer staples, and they have to cater to kind of everybody. Shaman of the Pack. I made a lot of elf videos, and I actually have a Pioneer list. I was going to play this last weekend, that I didn't, unfortunately my trains didn't line up because we've got strikes and things in the UK at the moment. But I am going to be playing. It's the first deck I'm going to be making videos with when the set drops next Wednesday on the 13th. Shane the Pack, huge boon for elves, gives you another win condition. You're not reliant as much on a Warmaster, and that's great. It's amazing. All right, cool. Let's move on. Colourless cards. Obviously, there's a few more extra like bonus colourless Devoid cards in the set, but hey, Thought Not Seer. Good card. Doesn't have a home yet in Pioneer. Maybe we can find it something to do with it in Explorer. Again, like the kind of like white-based Yorion strategies. Maybe you could find something going on there. Matter Shaper as well. Though that one also costs 3 or less. So hey, goes into some company strategies. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. Ozilek's a neat one, in that because it gives ramp decks this kind of counterspell ability, which they don't normally have access to. Something like Marvel, which I've also played a bit recently. It's like, okay, cool, you can cast this, and then you have some counterspells to back yourself up to kind of like stop being as kind of dead to combo. Again, pretty sweet, pretty sweet. Lands. Now, the two on here, there's one card missing from the official card image gallery at the moment, which is Mana Confluence, and we'll get there. But Mutavault is obviously a huge boon. They've printed a bunch of mono-white aggro cards, actually, so that deck's got a huge boost from the set. Nykthos, what I've been hinting at the entire time is we have Nykthos in the set, buffing the green ramp deck, possibly I think publicly enemy number 1 in Pioneer. Obviously, it does fit into other strails as well. There are other devotion decks. I've talked a little bit about White Yorion. There are some other devotion things going on that you can use Nykthos in, but obviously the big... the most obvious is mono green, and exactly how powerful it is there. Card's amazing. I'm really, really surprised they printed Nykthos without giving us something like Treasure Cruise. We got Nykthos. We'll see how things work out. And the last thing, it's not on the page yet, is Mana Confluence. The mana in Explorer / Pioneer is pretty bad in general. Mana Confluence helps fix a little bit. It's like, if you want to take a risk, you can play the colors that you want to. And so in like the 4-color Vanifar list that Yo Lawson kind of played at regionals, I'm playing it in my elf list because I can't afford too many tap lands and I want to cast triple white along with double green and also have black cards in my deck. Slivers, if that comes through, hey, we have the big boss. We'll want to rely on this, and then things like the 4-color humans I was mentioning before. Enable some strategies, and that is the set. That's 24 cards plus wastes. Don't forget about wastes. I'm happy with how the set turned out, but I'm still a little disappointed we're missing things like, I'll say it again, Dig Through Time, Treasure Cruise, obviously is like the main thing. Dig Through Time fits into a couple of different strategies, Blue-Black Control, for example, but also something like Lotus Field. Lotus Field also missing cards like Hidden Strings. Now, I should also say that we are expecting yet another bunch of cards for Explorer in Shadows of Runestad Remastered, which I believe was, as said, early 2023. We'll see how that goes. I'll be patiently waiting. I really want my Priced Amalgam. I really want my Eldritch Evolution. I really want my Emrakul of the Promised End. There's a bunch of stuff, and I've got that to look forward to. But that's it for today. That's the entire spoiler. I'll be making videos and brewing decks when it drops on the 13th. I've got a bunch of different decks and videos lined up, but if you have anything you want to see, let me know in the comments. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a great day. Peace soup.